Now, here on Fit Foods, we're all about creating fast, efficient foods with the best possible nutrition. So this is where speed really comes in. These root vegetables, butternut squash, which I've sliced and cut the skin from, the yam, which is a reddish kind of orange meat inside, and the sweet potato, more of a yellowish center. Both contain pretty much the same nutritional value, but did you know sweet potato is slightly higher on the glycemic level? So we've pretty much got equal portions of these butternut squash, sweet and yam. These take a long time to cook. If we boil them, at least 30 to 40 minutes until they're ready. So I'm going to speed up the process without losing any of the nutritional value. I'm going to put them in this glass Pyrex dish here. Add a cup of water and then place a lid on top, allowing a slight gap for air to come out. This goes in the microwave for about 10 minutes, therefore cutting the time down to about a third until they're soft to touch. Then I can boil them for about 5 minutes with a little bit of salt and seasoning to really bring out the flavors. Meat looks pretty much well done there, so I'm going to remove that from the heat. Place that there and straight away start to drain some of the excess fat. So get a new plate out. Fold up some paper towel. I'm using 2 layers here. One on the bottom and then this top one will fold over. So although I want some of the fats in there for flavor, and also a little bit of fat, especially pre-workout, is good. It helps metabolize a lot of the vitamins and nutrients in the meat and also provides us with some slow release energy. So gently press that down. Again, I don't want to push too hard to push out all of the juices, but just leave that there to allow the meat to get rid of all of that excess fat. Now on with our final post-workout meal. I'm going to take our Alaskan cod, so 2 fillets there, and start by marinating it with some lemon. So real easy. Center of my hand. Make sure we don't get all of the seeds coming out, so I do it this way. Therefore the juices flow out, but none of those pips. I'll save the other one for another time. And then some more of our spices and herbs. Again, totally up to you how you want to flavor the fish. But let's see what I've got here. Have a teaspoon of ground cumin. And then let's choose one more. I'll tell you what, I'll let you guys choose. Out of the 3 here, which one do you want to add? That one? Thought so. Me too. We're going to add a little bit of spice to our fish. Now, besides the flavor and the bite, we're also going to increase the thermogenic effect. So this works twofold. One, we're in a stage of EPOC. This is exercise post-oxygen consumption. This is where our body is basically having to take in more oxygen to get all of those nutrients and fuel back into our muscle. So by increasing the thermogenic effect, our body's also going to be burning more calories, energy, basically from stored fat. So let's give the fish a rub. I've already prepared the asparagus and the mushrooms. Just a great complement to the fish, but also health benefits to help our body rid, again, lactic acid. So let's get these over and into the pan. Let's give our onions and pepper a bit of a stir. You can see now the onions are starting to brown and caramelize. So a few more minutes and they'll be good. Let's get a new pan out. Same one as before, basically. Well stocked here at Big Bear Cabin. Back on a low heat for fish. Let that heat up. Now basically I'm gonna, again, flash fry the fish. A couple of minutes on each side. And at the same time allow our asparagus to basically marinate in the juice, the lemon juice in there. And just keep the mushrooms full like that, which I've peeled and removed the stalk. So time for another spray. Marinated fish just placed down into the center. Some of that lemon juice on top. Put these either side. Just enough room for our mushrooms there. And then remember that extra half of the lemon, guess where that's going to come in? We're going to use that to add a bit of juice over the vegetables here. So let's get that on. So the microwave's gone off. That's our root vegetables pretty much softened. So let's get them out and get them into our pan. I'm going to drain the excess water. Our green beans are also done. So at the same time, I'm going to use a sieve or a colander to again remove the water. Do a bit of a switch over. So we let our beans continue to sit and steam there. We're going to add some more water back into the pan. One thing I love about being up here at this altitude at Big Bear is that the water is so fresh and clean. I mean, you've seen the lake outside, pretty much where they get it from. So I'm going to add these in and draining a lot of the excess water using our ladle there. If I get one out, we can see how it's just soft enough that it's not going to take that long in the pan boiling. Butternut squash, sweet potato and yam. We want these soft enough that if you were to mash them, it wouldn't require too much effort. And the reason we have a trio of them is for different rates of energy release. Probably the highest in there is sweet potato, followed by the yam and butternut squash. So if you weren't working out and you just wanted this as a meal, I would probably exchange the yam and the sweet potato just for more butternut squash, therefore getting lower glycemic sugars in there, but without losing out on any of the food. Okay, so we're going to add some seasoning to that. Shake of each the pepper and the salt. And the pan back on. So we're going to leave those for about 5 minutes. Fish is cooking nice. Let's just make sure we turn the vegetables around so they get equal time on the heat. In fact, let's turn that fish over now too. The reason I'm using fish rather than poultry or the beef is that post-workout, fish is going to be the easiest to metabolize. Our bodies are going to be able to break it down, access the calories, the protein that we need to help rebuild and recover the muscle that has been put under stress during training. Rice is pretty much done, so I'm going to turn that off the heat and switch everything up once again. So let's remove our beef. Remember, I said I'm making enough for 4, so let's cut this in half with our steak knife here. Most people think this wouldn't be enough protein, but remember, we're eating a lot of meals within a short space of time. So I'll put that to one side. We'll save that for another day, another training session. Green beans, again, you only need a few. So those will go towards another day. Now our onions and our red peppers are pretty much done. Just started to caramelize off, so I'm going to take a scoop or two. I've always found that steak or beef and onions really do go well together. And there we go, that's pretty much meal 1, except for our brown rice. So that's pretty much taken up all the water. Make room, this is our complex carbohydrate. You can use a yam if you want, but I think rice is just a better option for pre-workout. You want to have about 40 grams worth there. And again, we'll save the rest, put that into a Tupperware container for another day. Let's take the fish off the heat. We've had our root vegetables in here boiling for past 4 minutes or so. So let's do a quick test. Yeah, that's definitely soft enough. So we're going to take that off the heat too. And half the fillet. And then let's just, careful of the heat, just pick out with our hands. Now most athletes will consume a scoop or two of protein immediately after training, especially if it's any resistance training. So this is kind of a second pre-workout meal, which I would consume about 30 to 40 minutes after having that first protein shake. But as we're always talking about protein shakes on Fit Foods, I thought we'd focus on something a little bit more substantial than a shake. Take that off the heat. Same process with our green beans. It's the colander. Sieve out all of that water. Back over the top to drain, and now want to make sure we get a good mixture of all three. Make sure we have equal portions of those colors. The yam, fast-acting glycemic sugars, we have sweet potato, even higher, and then the butternut squash, more of a moderate to low glycemic. All right, let's get these over to the table. Let's get everything lined up. Well, this is it. We have our pre-workout, have our beef, we have the creatine in there too, important for getting that energy saturated into the muscles so that when we're performing at that high level, we're ready and charged up. Brown rice, complex carbohydrates, providing us with sustained energy release for a good 2 to 3 hours after we've eaten it. A few vegetables and greens there, so we have the vitamins and minerals needed to help our body function under these extreme conditions. Now, this is when we take a little break if we're training for longer than an hour or for an endurance type event where we need that energy once again. We have the sugar from the dark chocolate and the high glycemic sugars from the fruits, plus some fats in there from the nuts, and a mixture of moderate to fast-acting glycemic sugars from those granola and oats, and of course a banana, which helps stop our muscles from cramping. And then our post-workout meal here. Mixture of different carbohydrates from butternut squash, sweet potato, and the yam. Fast, easy to metabolize protein from the fish, and again some green vegetables there. Also benefits to help clear lactic acid out from the muscle. You know, if I had to pick one, I'd pick this one right here, my pre-workout, because I think I'm going to go and enjoy another high-intensity workout up in the mountains later. So why don't you follow me outside? I'm going to enjoy it out in the sunshine. You know, there's few things I like more than actually enjoying good nutrition out in the scenery like this. So 90 minutes after eating this, I'm going to get down to the gym and hopefully perform at my best 8,000 feet above sea level. And as a special treat to all of our Process followers, if you want to come up here to Big Bear Mountain in Southern California, we're giving you 10% off thanks to Big Bear Cabins using your special coupon code RR2012. That's RR2012, and that will get you 10% off up until the end of June. Who knows, maybe I'll still be here doing a mountain biking special up in the mountains. Until then, I'm Rob Riches, about to tuck into my pre-workout maximum performance meal. I'll see you guys back here or back in the studio in LA real soon for more Fit Foods. See you then.